everyone, I have missed my YouTube friends tenfold. I am coming back to you after taking a couple weeks off to think and regroup and honestly just to figure out what I want this year to look like. I had a lot going on last year, my silly head. So I just, while that I'm feeling more grounded, I feel like I needed to take the time to figure a few things out. But I'm back and better than ever. I just want to say I hope you had a lovely few weeks, and I don't really feel like I said goodbye or hello at the start and the end of the year. So I can only say sorry for that because I have big plans anyways. So follow me on my Instagram, my TikTok, and you will be in the loop. But if you guys have been online recently, you will see, by the way, this is a hot water bottle. And the sofa's in the middle of the room because the window's there, and if the sofa was against the wall there, then it would look weird. You follow? I guess you've seen on the internet at the moment, everyone, analog is cool, analog is back. First off, y'all be forgetting that analog isn't physical media, okay? Analog can be physical or digital. Firstly, get your facts straight. Secondly, if you want a video that puts my thoughts of analog into perspective, watch Ash's video. Ash, baby girl, I love you to the end of the world and back. Peace and love. Go and watch her video because she saved me my breath, because that is exactly how I feel. And also, I want to say, if you don't have physical media, because we'll call it physical media instead of analog, because, you know, y'all be getting confused, like I said, then you're a fake. Because those that have loved magazines for years and music and CDs and zines and whatever else for years have already been collecting, okay? And those of you that have just started collecting things now because it's cool and trendy, to that I say,
get a library card.
I'm going to say all these CDs are going to be in the bin in 6 months. So I think firstly figure out who you are before you be jumping on trends, because this is still consumerism. And this is everything we're going to try and come away from, is it not? Guys, don't be silly. You either have done it or you don't. Don't just start hopping on trends. But I actually did want to say, an amazing video I literally just watched on that. Grace Robinson's video. Go and watch her video and Ash's video. 2 amazing videos, because Grace talks about physical media in such an interesting way. Not just, I want to collect magazines, but rather she'll like go into all the details about and everything. Like, that is someone who has and will carry on collecting physical media. You little fakey over here are not. So go and watch her video to figure it out. But in this video, I really wanted to talk about the identity of people and brands due to the shift that is happening right now culturally and economically and politically and whatever other LE words I can think of. I think it's important to do that rather than putting focus on identity equals analog or identity equals physical media, because that is simply not true. Identity can still exist, bar having to collect things. I don't know if I said bar right, but just, you know what I'm trying to say. Now, clothes have always been more than just covering our bodies. They represent a lot more status. It comes across like, you know, what type of person we want to be. But as technology evolves and reshapes self-expression and cultural values evolve, individualism becomes central as to how people understand style. So I do think the future of fashion will be less about what we wear and more about who we are. Now, my first point here is fashion equals identity. Like I said, fashion has historically reflected social structures and collective identities. Think about some subculture styles, for example, hip hop or punk, for example. That doesn't just signal trends, but rather these little subcultures conveyed their values, okay? The clothing just operated as a shorthand for their belief systems. They didn't go, oh, I'm punk, I'm going to wear ripped jeans. They go, oh, I'm punk, this is what I believe. Because I believe that and because I live this lifestyle, this is the clothes that are available to me. But yeah, take punk, for example. Punk is about, and I quote, punk is about being an individual and going against the grain and standing up for what you believe in. And that ethos is ironic when viewed through a contemporary lens, because punk has kind of become something where you can buy into or you buy this one item and then suddenly you've got it, you can replicate it.
Punk isn't about a look, a style, what you listen to. Punk is a philosophy. It's about what you believe in and what you do with your actions.
But what first began as purely, I guess, punk equals resistance or resistance. Resistance has basically been flattened into a look, which is not what it was ever about. But at its core, punk was anti-establishment. It was rejection of conformity, of authority. So basically, the fashion followed the rebellion, not the other way around. But this pattern obviously repeats and repeats and repeats throughout fashion history. Values emerge first, aesthetics come later. My second point, hyper personalization. Now, think about in the last year alone, there's been such a rejection of like singular mass driven trends in favor of hyper personalization style. For example, with this analog trend, people trying to find their interests and what subgenre, subcategory, subculture they fit into. And I think especially this year, more and more, rather than dressing according to what the industry declares, and many people now want to dress to reflect their personal narratives, digital identities, or their emotional state or their political views. I think people are trying to convey like where they fit into now with their clothes, but the algorithm definitely doesn't favor a specific look. I've heard this phrase Y3K, like trying to come up, like forcing it. Like, why are you forcing Y3K? Stop forcing these stupid like phrases, and like that's everything that we're trying to come away from. But what matters isn't the garment itself, it's people's inner beliefs. And that's what I said, like linking back to punk, like low key me, honestly, like I find something vintage, I find something black, I find something leather, and suddenly I'm punk. Nah, it does not work like that. Point number 3, high fashion's turn towards identity over product. Now, high fashion has not been immune to this shift either. I'm not so in a loop with high fashion. I'm learning. I've started listening to podcasts and like I'm learning, okay? Because I feel like sometimes on here I speak about things where I actually don't know. Punk is one of the topics actually, which I'll be covering in another video. But I just feel like anything I talk about, I want to fully understand. But you think over the past year, so many fashion houses have leaned heavily into identity narrative and emotional signaling rather than just purely seasonal design. And there's this phrase which is well known, which I've been hearing more and more, but I don't know if I've been hearing it more and more because I've been looking into high fashion more or because it's coming up more and more. So you let me know, but it's world building. Like, for example, Miu Miu kept this ugly, awkward, unfinished styling, rejects traditional glamour in favour of character-driven dressing. Clothes, I would say, that feel more lived in, and this brand that my friend Han showed me, shout out August Barron. I cannot believe I did not know them before. Absolutely a beautiful brand. But even luxury marketing has kind of shifted tone. I mean, this is probably the only thing where I do follow like the adverts of all the brands and like their campaigns that they release. But campaigns increasingly foreground community and individuality. Like in their adverts, they will prioritize that over here is how this jacket is made. Here is how the craftsmanship behind this jacket is made. But brands are definitely becoming more exclusive with their world building, or probably going to be working less with influencers and gifting and I guess status in fashion. Maybe their goal is to seem more attainable because of all the fakes, like fake dupes, I mean, and like how people just get money quicker, like, I don't know, take a loan out and buy a Gucci bag or something like that. Like, it seems accessible, even though most of the time it probably hasn't been so accessible for that person to get hold of that thing. But that's what it comes across as online. Also, not doing gifting and I guess kind of like what the Row does. Although I'm not like advocating for them right now or anything like that. That's a whole other topic, and I am not equipped to be talking about that. But I guess if I was to put this all into a conclusion, and I hope this all makes sense, I feel like I've kind of taken a few points that I'm seeing online right now and trying to make sense of it all. And is the future of fashion less clothing, more identity? I think yes. but not in like a literal sense, I guess. Obviously, you're going to continue to produce garments and textiles and aesthetics, but I just think the emphasis is shifting from trend following to more of an individual narrative, less so focusing on physical objects but rather digital and emotional identities. Honestly, I don't really know if that made the whole lot of sense, but it made sense in my head and it made sense as I was speaking it. So you guys let me know. And if you feel like I've kind of missed a point here or anything that you want to add to the conversation, let me know. And if you guys want to see like what's 15-minute long, well, Katie Robinson interviewed me in one of her videos recently, as well as some other really, really cool creatives. And there's a podcast episode. Go and watch it on Spotify, which is like the full interviews of all the people in that video. So if you want to go and watch that, just seeing the Kat and Katie show, if you will, then head over there, because that puts like a lot of my thoughts into words. Although I feel like sometimes I can't convey my points properly. So I need to try and work on that, because sometimes I assume what you know. Sometimes I assume you know what I mean. And I feel like you probably do, because we're all friends and we're all on the same vibe. But I did want to say to you guys, please follow me on my Instagram, because I'm gonna film reels. I'm scared. And I was gonna do it today. I swear I was gonna do it today. But I want to kind of have a nice background. Like, what is that? I don't know, it's just not giving, is it? So I need to reconfigure. Maybe go to IKEA and buy like a lamp or something, I don't know. But if you guys know of like anything that you think could make this setup of a sofa in the middle of the room better, let me know. But the sofa isn't changing. I'm gonna have to move it around for each video because it's comfy. But sending love to you all, and I'm so happy to be making videos again. And if you've been with me for 2025, then please stay with me for 2026. And if you're new here and you haven't been here for 2025, then stick around and hit the subscribe button, and have a lovely day in the meantime, and be gentle to yourself. Okay. Love you.